Now, India and cricket are pretty synonymous. It's an identity that is deep-rooted, a relationship that goes beyond any cricket stadium. The kind of fandom and adulation Indian cricketers enjoy and receive all over the world is unparalleled. But this is not that story, where I'll talk up the Indian cricket fans and how a cricket-crazy nation is passionate about its heroes and its cricketing history. No. The Indian men's cricket team in Adelaide witnessed the ugly side of it all, which of course has prompted the BCCI now to shut out any fan attendance during their team's net sessions here on. Just to remind you, the Border-Gavaskar Trophy is underway, as we know, and India plays Australia in the second test that begins in Adelaide tomorrow, Friday. It's a day and night affair, and the Indian team is fresh from its win in Perth. They have been in Adelaide prepping for that second test. Now, as always, there are net sessions that teams have in between matches, and the ones India were conducting was being kept open to public. For those who haven't been to any of this, yes, there's a reason. A lot of the Indian net sessions are cordoned off. The only people who are present at close quarters, barring of course the support staff and the management of the team, are the media personnel who are covering that series or tournament, and of course the broadcasters and the crew. There have been instances during T20 internationals, a few ODI series where fans have been allowed to watch the sessions, but from a distance in a section that is blocked off in the stands, and it's barricaded away from the cricketers. But it is very rare. Apparently, Cricket Australia had quite a few conversations with the BCCI to convince them to get fans in for select venues to watch the Indian net sessions. So what happened in Adelaide? More than 5,000 fans reportedly turned up to witness the Indian team practice at the stadium, as opposed to 70 odd who turned up to watch Australia. This was a golden chance, of course, to see some of these Indian cricketers and stars from up close. But what followed was pretty chaotic and rather shocking. What I've heard is that the crowd was raucous and rude. They kept jeering the Indian cricketers. One particular player in the Indian squad was body shamed by a section of the crowd that had gathered to watch them. There were continuous taunts and the cricketer was mocked for his weight. It gets even worse. Indian captain Rohit Sharma was continuously goaded to hit sixes in every delivery. Rishabh Pant was repeatedly asked to hit the big shots. The batters were taunted for missing or leaving deliveries. They were cajoled to take selfies even as they were practicing and in the nets, or even while they were training. Fandom was clearly not the word, it was menace. There was constant chatter and commentary on how badly they thought a player was batting in the nets, all within earshot and meant to be heard. The players are miffed and the BCCI has taken strong action. There was supposed to be another fan day lined up in Sydney, the venue for the last test of the series, and that has been called off, cancelled. There will be no such session on the rest of the tour, and Australia anyway hasn't been a very pleasant experience for many Indian cricketers as far as the hostility from crowds gathered is concerned. As much as they've applauded India's achievements over the years, many cricketers have constantly been targeted, quite regularly too. It happened in the last series where Jasprit Bumrah and Mohammad Siraj were subjected to racist taunts during the test match. But this behaviour in Adelaide is rather appalling, and all India wants to do is stay focused on what lies ahead and stay in a very positive, clear zone. Captain Rohit Sharma, who is one of the most experienced hands in that dressing room, believes that the key to India's success in the series lies in the hands of youngsters in the side who have shown that they can be fearless and who can combat anything, whether it's taunts and jeers from crowds and fans gathered or a fiery opposition come Friday.
Today's generation of boys, they're very fearless and don't travel with a lot of baggage, not suitcases, but in general, the pressure. Jaiswal, Gill and Pant, they're a very different generation of cricketers. Their minds have just one thing: how can we win the match for our team? If your first focus is on making the team win, then automatically it's reflected in their big scores.
Because remember where India was just some weeks ago, from not having a chance to even qualify for the World Test Championship final before the start of this series against Australia. India is now looking at that being a distinct possibility. In fact, an incident at the New Zealand versus England game has also helped in India's chances. The penalties that New Zealand and England were awarded for slow over 8 means the points table looks somewhat like this now, with India, of course, leading that right at the top. In fact, this was not the scenario till some time back, but that's quite a packed contest all the way, and there are chances for any of that top 4 to go through. Of course, New Zealand would be a little miffed because they were in a higher position till the demerit points were awarded. England also coming down to 6th position, but it's quite a tight race for that World Championship final slot. But one thing is certain, the WTC ambitions of both England and New Zealand has in fact taken a hit. England captain Ben Stokes has been livid, especially with the ICC regarding this decision, and has questioned the fairness of the system itself.
The most frustrating thing from both teams' points of view is that the game finished early. There was a result. It's always an issue depending on where you are in the world. There's never an overrate issue in Asia. From a player's point of view, and I'm not the only one who shares this opinion, we would like to have a lot more communication with the ICC around this.
But what this means is that every match here on is game on, because there are quite a few contenders vying for those top 2 spots at the World Test Championship final, and none of the top teams can really afford to have any single slip up. We'll of course keep you in the loop as the race for the mace heats up right here.